In this video, I will provide you step-by-step approach on how to install OBS Studio and start recording. OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software. OBS is the most powerful and best screen recorder you can get. Most of all, OBS is an open source, so it's free of cost. Hopefully by the end of this video, you should be able to install and start recording OBS in less than 10 minutes. Let's get started. Please go to obsproject.com or type in OBS screen recorder in Google. Click on the first link, which is the obsproject.com, which will take you to the obsproject.com website. Click on the download link. Since OBS is fully cross-platform, OBS Studio works on all operating systems like Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. Since I happen to have Windows operating system, I clicked on Windows button, which will download OBS Studio exe file related to Windows operating system in my downloads folder. Once the download is complete, click on the exe file. Sometimes, based on your computer setting, you might get this message which would say like OBS is not a Microsoft verified app. In that case, you need to change your apps and features settings by clicking on change my app recommendation settings link and change the install apps only from Windows Store option to install apps from anywhere but warn me before installation. And then click on the exe file again. You would see install anyway button along with it. Now click on install anyway button to take you to welcome OBS Studio welcome setup. During the time of installation, it happens to be 25.0.8 version, which is the latest one. So I have downloaded the latest version. Click on next and accept the license agreement. Click on next, and you could select the destination folder for this software. Give the path here or accept the default, which would be C program files / and click on install. So click on finish, which would take you to the auto configuration wizard. Basically, the software would ask you if you would like to run the auto configuration wizard or you would like to manually configure the settings. Select yes, which I would show you down the line how to set up the controls. So click on finish, which would take you to the auto configuration wizard, which would ask you, would you like to run the auto configuration wizard or you can also manually configure your settings by clicking on settings button in the main feature. So since we are going to manually configure the settings, so click on yes, which would ask like whether do you want to optimize for streaming or optimize just for recording. Since we are going to use it mainly for recording, click the radio button optimize just for recording and click on next, which would take you to a next screen, which would be the Windows video settings screen. So the software would pick the best resolution based on your computer. Just click on next, and then which would give you the final result testings complete screen. Click on apply settings. Once the installation is completed, click on the OBS Studio icon that's on your desktop, which would launch the OBS Studio software. Initially, you would not see the OBS Studio desktop, which I am highlighting. All you need to do would be right click in the sources section and click on add and click on display capture and give a name. By default, you would have display capture as the name. Keep it as it is and just click on OK, which would launch the properties for display capture. Click on OK by selecting the defaults. Later we would change. So you would then see the OBS Studio desktop. We have different controls here. The first one is the scenes. A scene is nothing but which is composed of multiple sources like background, music, webcam, anything you want to add in, you can add it here by right clicking in this pane and click on add, and you could add a webcam, you could add background or music or anything. But the most important one would be the control section. Since we have to set up the controls, click on the settings and then in the general select the language as English and leave all as default. In the output section, make sure that the output mode is advanced and click on the recording tab and set the type as custom output FFmpeg and then select the path or URL where you want to store your videos once the screen recording is completed. Once you select the path, make sure that the container format is MP4 and then the container format description is MP4 MPEG-4 part 14. The video bitrate generally you could either set it up 2500 kbps or 4500 kbps. Mostly focused on doing the recording, I would prefer having 2500 kbps, but if you are intended to use this software for live streaming, you could prefer to have 4500 kbps. And once that is done, make sure that the video encoder has the LIBX264 default encoder and the audio encoder as AAC default encoder. These two are very important. And then click on the audio and make sure that the desktop audio and desktop audio 2 has speakers, headphones option selected from the drop down list. This way you would have the Realtek high definition audio, and then keep the default settings for the other controls and then just close this window. Once the settings are done, now we can start recording. Generally you would see start recording here. It's like a toggle. Since I am already recording the video, it's showing as stop recording. But you would see start recording here. Click on the start recording here and go to any like anything you wanted to record. Like for example, www.carnival.com. Once the recording is done, just click on stop recording. You would see the video in the path which you have selected. If you don't remember the path, you could just click on file, show recordings. It would take you to the path exactly where the recording is there. So this one you could upload it anywhere, like to your YouTube channel or to Twitch or anywhere, wherever you want to keep this. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.